Hey YouTube, so today we are going to be tackling the topic that, well, we get countless emails about. It's one of the things that if we're speaking, it's always something that comes up. It's very, very controversial, so kind of controversial warning here, trigger warning, be aware that we are going to have an opinion on this because we've been asked the question, oh my word. And so before we get started on the discussion of whether they should be chopped off or not, whether we should be neutering male dogs routinely for the purposes of behaviour, or actually if there's a little bit more to the picture or not, make sure to subscribe. You can subscribe by, I don't know, below this video maybe, or I don't know, little thing at the top, I don't know to be honest, but basically subscribe to this YouTube channel because there are new things each and every week that go live in the YouTube channel, new episodes, and we cover everything from kind of dog training, games, troubleshooting common struggles, and of course, whether to chop them off or not. So we're going to be talking about whether male dogs, whether we should be routinely being advised as a default that we should neuter them, we should castrate them, we should sterilize them, whatever word that you want to use. And just before I get started on this, and just to give you a bit of background, I'm a vet, I'm a behaviorist, I'm a trainer, so I have a pretty unique perspective on this. Just to kind of give you a bit of like a frame to this, I am not talking about population control. I am not talking about routinely neutering male dogs to stop unwanted puppies, to stop rehoming centres from being full. That is not what I'm talking about. What I am going to be talking about is whether we should be neutering male dogs to improve their behaviour, whether actually that is a cure for behaviour struggles or not. And the answer is that the reason why it would impact their behaviour in any way is because we take away their testosterone. Testosterone is for the most part produced in the testicle, and it's also produced in a couple of other areas as well that we can talk about later on. And testosterone is a very important hormone. It's a really important hormone because it's the hormone of confidence, right? It's the hormone of optimism. It's, you know, in some situations, it's the hormone of optimistic calmness. And so when we think about behavior struggles, when we think about behavior struggles like reactivity to other dogs, when we think about behavior struggles like separation anxiety, when we think about behavior struggles like reactivity to people or noise, fears around noises and other, any common struggle basically, you can see that actually taking away testosterone, when those behaviors are driven by anxiety, driven by worry, driven by the emotion of fear, taking away testosterone is actually only going to probably make those things worse. And if it doesn't make those things worse, it's probably not going to make them any better, yeah? And so historically, and when I say historically, I'm like talking, you know, you would have all been advised this at some point, so it needs to be history, but it's just not yet. We've been advised that if we're struggling with reactivity, struggling with, I don't know, noise fears, separation anxiety, you name it, that we should castrate our male dogs. And actually, that's just not the case. And in fact, as a vet behaviorist, what I see is often that's kind of the tipping point for a struggle, where a dog's maybe, you know, they're okay, you wouldn't describe them as having any particular behavior problem or behavior struggle. The owner was advised to routinely castrate their dog at 6 months old, let's say, and from 6 months of age onwards, all of a sudden, the loss of testosterone unmasks all of these struggles that the dog was dealing with, but testosterone was kind of helping them out along the way. Now, until recently, that was purely, you know, my experience, me kind of going out there and saying, I don't think we should be routinely advising to do a surgery that is irreversible, right? Once they're chopped off, you can't stick them back on. It does not work. But actually, there is now some evidence that can be quite useful in this discussion as well. And so in 2018, a research team led by McGreevy, if you want to look up the paper, it's McGreevy et al. 2018, and the title is Behavioral Risks in Male Dogs with Minimal Lifetime Exposure to Gonadal Hormones May Complicate Population Control Benefits of Desexing. And really what he's saying, what the research team looked at is, how long do dogs keep their testicles for? Like, how long do they have them before they get chopped off? And then what was happening is that the owners were being asked about, you know, the various struggles that they could have experienced. And interestingly, castration, neutering, sterilization did impact behavior. yeah? In fact, it impacted behaviour in a really big way because it actually improved two behaviour struggles. Those behaviour struggles that were improved with, more younger castration, let's say. The two behaviour struggles that improved were indoor urine marking and howling when left alone. Okay, those were the two things that improved in their study and in their sample. Now, what about the benefits of leaving them longer? What about the benefits of having those dogs be exposed to the benefits of testosterone for a longer amount of time, effectively keeping their testicles for longer? And the answer is that actually 26 mostly unwelcome behaviours were significantly reduced with longer keeping of the testicles, to translate it. And 8 of those related to fearfulness and 7 related to aggression. So in this sample that this research team looked at, what they found is that the longer that the dogs in the sample kept their testosterone, the longer they went before being neutered, the less likely they were to have all of these behaviour struggles, 26 in total, 8 of which were fear-related, and 7 of which would be labelled as aggression-related, right? And so these are, really important things to consider when actually we are routinely advised that we should be neutering male dogs. And of course, there are pros and cons to every study. No study is perfect, and we could talk all day about picking apart the methodology in that. But the reality is that I see this on a daily basis in behaviour consults. I see it, on a daily basis with Lauren in training scenarios, whether it be group workshops, whether it be hearing from all of you guys as YouTube game changers who watch every week and email us in with your struggles. And the reality is that this information needs to get out there. So if you think that this would benefit your dog-owning friends, if you think that this would benefit a family member, if you think that this would benefit somebody at dog training class that's maybe, booked in for castration next week, but they've got a reactive dog and they've not had a behaviour consult to confirm whether that would be the appropriate thing or not, what we'd say is share this video. Share it far, share it wide. Let's get the word out there as game changers. Let's really kind of start a ripple effect that is going to stop dogs from blindly having an irreversible procedure done on them. There are many reversible options, and that's the next thing that I want to talk to you about. So if you are thinking that neutering might be an appropriate option for your male dog, actually what I'd always say is if you're doing this for behavior reasons, I would say actually rather than invest in an irreversible surgery, invest in a behavior consult. Let's get a plan in place. Let's check actually whether that would be appropriate or whether that would make it worse. That's the first thing. The second thing is if you still think this is appropriate, if you're getting loads of advice about it and you're like, okay, I'm just going to take the advice of these people saying that I need to neuter my male dog, go with a reversible option first. The reversible option is an implant that just goes under your dog's skin like a microchip, and it effectively has all of the whole body effects of blocking testosterone that you would see with a surgical castration, and it effectively means that you get to trial run, yeah? Now, the thing is that the implants last minimum 6 months. You can remove them from under the skin, but that's a surgery that might be unnecessary. And so what we're saying is play games, reshape the brain, get real life results, get help. Don't immediately think that this is going to help. Even if it were to help, it didn't in this study, but even if it were to help, it's not going to work alone, yeah? It's going to need training anyway. So let's go with that. So guys, share this video. Let's get the word out there. Let's not be doing something irreversible to male dogs that impacts their behavior just routinely without thinking about it. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Remember, and I'm going to recap this because I can bet I'm going to look under this video in an hour and there are going to be comments relating to population control and unwanted puppies. This is not what we are talking about. We're talking about responsible dog owners like you, right, who have been advised that you should neuter your male dog for the benefits of behaviour, and maybe that isn't the most appropriate thing to be doing. Remember, game changers, whatever the dog... Okay, I maybe wasn't completely honest there. I hadn't finished. I've got something else that I want to talk to you about, because many of you will be watching this and thinking, oh my gosh, I've chopped them off. I chopped them off a week ago. I chopped them off yesterday. They were chopped off a year ago, and this is the root of all my problems. The point is the reason why I'm filming this, the reason why I'm talking to you all now is because I want to get the word out there for other people that are maybe being advised this. So first of all, share it. Second thing is, if you're in the situation where your dog no longer has the benefit of testosterone, the interesting thing is testosterone is made in other body areas as well. In fact, females have testosterone production. And do you know how you boost that testosterone? Is actually short bursts of exercise. I'm talking 3 minutes, right? 3-minute exercises that actually boost your dog's testosterone. They in turn boost confidence, and actually we can use those exercises to teach them other things. Now, we can call them exercises, we can call them sessions, or we can call them games. And as you've been watching this YouTube channel, you've probably been aware of some games that we've taught you, some games that we like to play. Many of you might have taken part in our worldwide Sexier Than a Squirrel online challenge that over 50,000 people have been through already, and they're playing games each and every day. The cool thing is, guys, is that if you're playing games, you're growing your dog's confidence. If you're playing games, you're growing your dog's testosterone. Isn't that crazy? It actually impacts your dog's physiology as well as their brain. And so no dog or owner is ever lost. There is always hope. There is always a game for that, and games get real life results. Remember, game changers, whatever the dog owning struggle, there's a game for that.
If you haven't already, remember to subscribe to our channel.
And check out our new 25-day online dog training challenge. Watch the videos, play the games, transform your dog owning struggles.
As a loyal YouTube subscriber, you can get a 70% discount through the link in the description below.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to the #1 most transformational dog training podcast on iTunes and Spotify, the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast.
And remember to follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more live teaching, video content and free training using the links in the description.